Things that we look for in terms of the products that we modify. Because we're working with digital audio interfaces primarily, we want to make sure that that the device has stable software drivers. The last thing that we want as a company is to inherit another company's problems, which happens a lot, actually. We've become quite skilled at figuring out, okay, what problems are associated with this unit, what things typically tend to happen, and we've found that when we insert controls in place to kind of safeguard against those problems, that our failure rate goes way, 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 way down. Another thing that we look for is sound quality improvement. In other words, we want to make sure that the end result is worth the cost involved. We want people to say, wow, this is an incredible deal for the price. And if it doesn't meet that standard, we're not interested in it. So. And probably the last thing we look for is repeatability and demand from customers. Of course, we're in business and we want to make money. We have expenses to pay, so we want to know that the stuff that we're modifying is popular among consumers and that a lot of people, utilize the equipment. Every single unit has its own unique problems, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to criticize these companies, because when you're dealing with manufacturing products on that large of a scale, it's not if, it's when. So, those companies, of course, they do their best to keep their ducks in a row. So, maybe for the DigiDesign stuff, for example, the power harnesses, we found that probably 95% of the stuff that we modified that failed in the field was because of the power harness. And Digi acknowledges the problem. They go to great lengths to correct it. They're actually awesome about it, I think. So it's, I don't want to sound like I'm knocking them, because I don't think that that's fair to them. Mark of the Unicorn's got their weird issues. They've got strange, I don't know if strange is the right word, but they have certain revisions from unit to unit that there really is no way for us to tell what's what. For their part, they have an incredible product replacement plan, and their drivers are awesome, especially for Macintosh. I think that everybody would recognize that. Their digital performer software is among my personal favorites, and so that's why we chose to work with them, because we felt like even though there are problems, we know how to circumvent them, keep them from coming back on us, and we know that the product is going to sound good and be reliable in the field. What we've found in terms of using multiple pieces of gear in a system, it arises from the fact that the consumer feels like the host unit, the host FireWire unit, doesn't have the sound quality that he or she wants. That's the big thing for us. So for, like with the 002, a lot of people don't really care for the way that it sounds. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons that we're in business. Typically the way that they've circumvented that is that they use the expansion ports. Oh, I'm going to pipe 8 channels in by ADAT, and there's a number of expansion pieces out there. And we kind of feel like a majority of the work that we do sort of circumvents the need for that, at least in terms of like improving sound quality. Now, if you need channel expansion, absolutely. It depends on the position. Typically, we hire from an intern position, and we do that for a couple reasons. One is that we give you a chance to come in and work with us and see what we're all about. And you get to know us, and we get to know you. And I think that's really important. We strive to have a good, a positive work environment here. It's important to me to make sure that my employees are well compensated. Everybody here works really hard, and I think that is something that everybody expects out of everyone else. There's a real strong work ethic, and everybody that works here is very happy to work here. Sometimes we look for someone who's got training in audio engineering. There's a couple of guys that work for me. One went to Berkeley, the other one went to Musicians Institute, I think, in LA, and another guy, actually the guy that sits here at this desk, went to school in Ohio, and they're trained engineers. Sometimes I look for just a certain aptitude. It's funny, when I started this company, and one of the first few people I hired was a technician that used to work for me years ago, and an older guy, and he just didn't get what we were trying to do. He just did not get it. And it didn't really work out. And I found that sometimes it's better to bring someone and train them from the ground up, that they tend to do a better job. So it's probably all about being the right person and showing that you've got some initiative and a good sense of work ethic.